This is a look at the Ecovacs Deebot M81Pro robot vacuum cleaner, which comes equipped with this very comprehensive user manual, which is very well written, very clear and written in good English, but is also multilingual as well, backed up by a second user manual with additional languages. There's also a quick start setup guide, which also looks at the app, which you can also use for operating the vacuum cleaner. There's a remote control unit if you prefer to use that instead of the app, and this is what I'm using myself. There's this rather unique wet and dry pad. It's got a little opening here to insert water or a cleaning solution, which clips closed, and then it's got wet and dry areas, so it both mops the floor and then dries it again afterwards. Measuring jug, so you put in just the right amount of fluid. Spare filter with foam pad. 2 spare brushes, and you'll note these are colour coded, red and green, which match the colour coded sections underneath red and green. Just turn it back the right way up. There's a spare mop. This is the charging home port here, which it returns to after vacuuming and for charging. And this is the vacuum cleaner itself. It's a very sturdy, substantial and well-made unit. It has this bumper track here. It's got sensors running all around here so it can detect where any furniture is. Then as it approaches, it's got this sprung bumper here, so it's not actually going to bash into anything, but if it accidentally did touch, then there's this rubber strip running all around the outside, so it's not going to cause any damage to furniture. Underneath the top is a very nifty design here. It has this lift out basket. You'll note here the basket handle also acts as a clip to lock it into place. It's a larger dust container than most, and again very well designed. Has the filter to the back, then to empty it, undo the clip, and it all hinges open so the dust can be tipped in a bin. Very easy to use and very well designed there. Just raise the handle to pop it back in, close the handle to close it, then it's locked into place. Also here you can see there's this little cleaning brush, which again just slots into place, then lifts out. So it's got a little comb here for lifting out fluff from the cleaning brush, and a brush as well. Now if we look underneath, this is the sweeping brush, and unlike most, it's not actually flat, it's in a slight V shape. So this means rather than just sweep smoothly over a floor, it's going to give it more of a deep sweep and lift a little bit as well. There are the side brushes here, which we've already covered. These are the traction wheels, and you'll note there's a lot of spring and bounce in those, and they're independently sprung, which will help it adjust to different floor levels and surfaces. So it can change from carpet to lino and vice versa. There's a navigating wheel at the front which swivels in all directions for good manoeuvrability, and there are also sensors underneath as well to help prevent it dropping down any stairs. But that's the spec, that's the theory. Now let's see how well it works in practice. Now there are 2 ways of operating this. You can either use the remote control or app and operate it in a timer mode, whereby it can be set to run while you're out at work, then come back home and all the cleaning's done. Or you can do it in the manual mode by pressing the button on the top or the same auto button on the remote, and you can also switch between different modes as well. We've got spot cleaning here where it goes round and round on a spot, the edge cleaning mode here where it goes around the outside perimeter of a room, and an intense mode here where the side brushes rotate faster and the suction is more powerful. So let's now have a look at it on different floor surfaces and sweeping up different types of general muck. This is a short pile carpet on which I've tipped the contents of our toaster, so there are some quite fine crumbs there. Let's see how it copes with those. Now, as a second trial, there are some black crumbs here. Let's have a look at those. Now let's look closely at where it passed. In the areas that the brush covers, they've all gone. Now to the side, which is slightly outside, you can see just a few black specks there where it's missed. But we can't fault the vacuum cleaner for that, because that is actually pretty much outside its range. Now, with bits of hair, a couple of dry dead leaves that were trodden in, we've got some general fluff, bits of hay, quite a variety there. Let's take a look. Gone. And now there's a bit more of that same hair in its path, followed by some breadcrumbs. Again, another test, and this is a higher pile carpet. Gone. And the crumbs, it got all of those as it went over. I need to get it back over that section of crumbs now. So this now is the second pass on the crumbs. Gone. Now on laminate floor, I've scattered some talcum powder, some general bits of fluff and muck, the hair once again because that's easy to see on video, and now let's see what sort of job it makes with all that mess. So turn the camera around, switch it on and watch. Done very well there, but it has got stuck on this ridge here, which is not surprising, so just give it a helpful push there. And now it's onto carpet. And it's coming back, and it's almost done it, but that is way out of its spec. It's got rid of the rest of the talc. Let's see it come back and do the hair. Gone. Try the ridge again. No, it has got stuck on that, but that's not surprising because it's quite wide and it's also quite deep as well, so that is excusable. Now, I imagine these robot vacuum cleaners are especially useful and popular in pet households, where there's always fluff and hair on carpets and floors needing daily vacuuming. So this is my house rabbit's room, where he sheds white fluff all over the carpets, with vacuum cleaning essential daily if not more. But because the fluff is a bit difficult to see on the white carpet, I've also scattered some pellets as well. These are food pellets, I hasten to mention, rather than any other type of pellet. Willie, our house bunny, has also got this rug which is covered in fluff, so we'll see if the vacuum can negotiate that. A little bit borderline because these vacuum cleaners are notorious for getting stuck on rugs especially, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. Also, Willie is resting there in his room, so see how this disturbs him or otherwise. It's now sucking up the pellets. It's also got the fluff and it's trying to negotiate the rug. No, didn't manage that. Switch it off and we'll try again. But it's certainly got rid of the fluff. And there's more fluff here in its path. So it's doing an absolutely superb job of that. No fluff left at all. It's going to get stuck. No, it's managed the rug that time. As for Willie the bunny, he is not remotely bothered by any of this, not disturbed by the noise or the fact it's heading in towards his territory. Not remotely concerned about it. A little bit curious now maybe. but certainly not scared. Whereas he is absolutely petrified of our larger vacuum cleaners. And now eating his carrot. We've got some hay here. Just direct it again slightly for the video. It's sucked up the hay there, no problems. And ideally I like it to go back again to see if it will pick up the rest. A bit difficult doing this one-handed. There we are. And there's more hay and fur ahead here. Along with that little bit of paper. And I'll just give it a gentle nudge and see if it can get it to take that bit of hay there. Yeah, it's gone. Again, really not remotely bothered by it. And the vacuum cleaner is vacuuming around him. It's also good for pets that are likely to chew cables, such as rabbits, because on this, of course, there are no cables to chew. To come back, it's eating more pellets and more fluff. And I noticed it got up that rug, but very pleased to see it too. So really, this vacuum cleaner has scored a good 95% on all its vacuuming so far. It has got stuck on those ridges, moving room to room, but I would not really expect it to go between those rooms anyway. And I'm still very impressed that it managed to negotiate the rug. As you can see, there's no particular pattern with the vacuum. It tends to make its own way around the room, doesn't do zigzags, and follows its own direction, which seems to be completely random. It doesn't actually nudge into any furniture. It may gently touch, but it certainly doesn't bash, and it isn't going to cause any damage. Now, using the remote control to show how responsive it is, we can now look at the spot cleaning mode. Where it goes round in a small circle to intensively clean one spot. There's the intensive cleaning mode, where you can now hear the motor running faster, giving more suction, and the wheels as well, the side brushes, they're also moving at a faster speed. Now vacuuming on lino, where again I've sprinkled some hay, some fluff, another bit of hair, some general crumbs, and let's have a look at it working on lino. Where we can also test the edge mode as well, where it should now run along the edge of the cupboards, like so. So it tends to stick to the edges of the room and the corners, rather than going across the centre of the room. You can also use the arrow keys on the pad to direct the robot around a room. Turn it the other way, forwards, backwards, stop, to one side, other way, or just clean. Very, very responsive, and stop. Staircases, of course, with their drop can be a huge concern and worry, so let's see whether or not this has a death wish. Nope, peeked over the edge and stopped. Again, peeked over the edge and stopped. Peeked over the edge and stopped. And again. So that's good to see. I still wouldn't leave it unattended though, just in case. Now we can test the mopping facility by pouring some cleaning solution into the mopping attachment. It's just a little bit of floor cleaner mixed in plain water there. Fasten it down and then pop this onto the robot vac, where it just snaps into place. Now set it to work. And if you look closely you can see where it's been because it's left the clear stripe. Now I put in extra solution and that was deliberate so that I could actually see where it had passed, and because it's got the extra solution in, of course it hasn't allowed it to dry as well as it would if it used just normal water and just a light detergent. But this is also to show where it's been and how clean it's left our floors. Now back on the tile, and now it's just got water in it, and where it's been is now dry, almost dry. I can just feel it being very, very slightly damp, but it's not so damp that you would slip on it. Then after use we can see how effective it's been by the state of the mopping mat, and then we'll tip it over and have a look at the dust container as well. Pull the handle forwards, lift it out, and there it is, absolutely packed solid. Shameful really, isn't it, that all that was on our floors, but it also shows just how effective it is, and there's a good varied quantity of rubbish type within there, quite a lot of debris. And now as I open the clip we can take a look at it. So a lot of dust, the breadcrumbs, the fluff, the bit of paper, the hair, it's all there in one neat bundle to simply tip into the bin. Easy. Now this can also be rinsed out if necessary between the next use, but I have a whole house to do, so for me it's off again. Then following use it will return automatically to its charging base, but if you're in the UK and you've got smaller rooms with doors in between and it's left the room with the charging base, the chances of it returning are a little bit more unlikely, but you can return it using the home button on the remote control pad anyway. And watch it return home. Perfect.